Welcome back to the FlipNerd.com REI Classroom, where experts from across the real estate investing industry teach you quick lessons to take your business to the next level. And now, let's meet today's expert host.
Hey everybody, it's Jim Huntzicker, founder of Real Estate Investor Academy, and I'll be your host for this REI Classroom. Now, in today's training, I'm going to go over fishing for deals in the MLS.
If you're an active real estate investor already doing deals and looking to double or triple your business, you should consider joining the Investor Fuel Real Estate Investor Mastermind. We're a small group of investors that share our best practices, tips, and tricks with one another in an effort to all win. We limit our membership to only 1 to 2 members per market, so everyone shares their knowledge, tips, and tricks openly and honestly. Our members include some buying 1 to 2 houses a month, up to some of the most respected investors and leaders in the real estate investing industry, some of which have personally done over 1,000 deals. If you'd like to be considered for our invitation-only world-class mastermind, please visit investorfuel.com to request your personal invitation. Our next meeting is coming up quickly. Go to investorfuel.com now to learn more.
One of my favorite things to do. It's kind of how I got my start in the business when I didn't really know what I was doing yet. One of my first deals, actually, I ended up getting 31% off the list price. It was listed for $440. I bought it for $300, kind of by mistake because I was desperate. I actually made that offer expecting them to reject it, but I was desperate because I owned my first rehab that I knew I was going to lose money on because I didn't have education. I hired the wrong contractor, I had the wrong partner, I did everything wrong because I didn't have the education. Now, even though I worked with investors prior to this as an agent, I thought I knew what to do and I didn't. So when I put this offer in that was listed for $440 at $300, I expected them to reject it. In fact, when I got the offer together, I was as surprised as the agent was that they just accepted my offer of $300, and now I had $5,000 in earnest money on there, and I also had to come up with the other $295,000, both of which I didn't have. But if there's a will, there's a way, and I did go find a private investor who became an equity partner on that deal. Now, but my best deal has been since then was actually 32% off, and what you're looking for in these deals when you're fishing the MLS, which again, if I can't find a deal immediately, I just go fishing. It's easy. There's always deals you can find when you go fishing in the MLS, and you're looking for a few things. You can start with market time. I usually start with anything over 300 days, and then you go through those, and then you look at the tax record, which is, in the MLS, you can always see the tax record. And on that tax card will tell you what they owe, when they bought it, what they paid, if there's a mortgage on it for how much, when they took it out, all the information you need. Or if there's no mortgage, and it's been paid off for a long time, there'll be nothing down there. So I start with market time, then I look for full equity, or lots of equity. Those are deals. So I have a VA go through, and that's how we pull all that information. And but there's lots of other ways you could check as well. As far as different searches, there is searches where you could put motivated in the remarks, because lots of agents will say motivated seller. By the time it gets to 300 days, they say, hey, what could you put in the remarks that would help people know that I'm willing to sell? Or bring all offers. Those kind of remarks that we see those kind of remarks that we see in the remarks, very, very important. So that's what you do. You take your geographic area you like to buy in, wherever that may be, and you go fishing. You start with market time, and you can go back to 200 days of market time if you're not finding a lot at 300. But usually, most MLSs now are big enough where if you put 300 days of minimum market time or more, you're going to have plenty of listings. And then then the key here is once you find the property and you go look at it. Now this is where it gets a little tricky, right? Because you have to. It's not like you just go in and again these are the ones that people always ask me, how do you get your low ball offers accepted? Well, I've never submitted a low ball offer, but because of where it's listed, we don't know if the seller thinks it's a lowball offer or the agent thinks it's a lowball offer. I mean, on the one deal that I got 32% off of, they listed that for $550 originally. It was down to $400, and I bought it for $273. And that funny thing about that is usually it takes a couple days to get that kind of discount. This one happened in 10 minutes after I'll tell you about how I did the dance that led up to being able to get that, because it's not an easy thing to do. It takes a little finesse. And my wife actually used to call it my acting debut, because prior to us having kids, she'd be in the car with me, and I'll explain about that in 1 second. But either way, so these deals are going to the house and seeing it, right? So you're calling, you schedule a showing. And I was going to tell you this. This is what I was going to say. So that particular property, now those people, it was paid off. It turns out all those kids had money. The agent, they would have taken $300 for it 300 days ago. But when you bring an agent into your house, and again, the average one does 3 deals a year. So when you bring an agent, maybe you get a good one, maybe not. Either way, the point is, if a real estate professional tells you this house is worth 550 and you're willing to take 300, are you going to say no, just list it for 300? I don't want the money. Of course you're going to list it for 550 because anybody would. But when time goes on and they realize the property is not worth as much as they said it was, well, now it's hard for them to ask for these major reductions because they look like an idiot. So that is when the fishing comes in, and that's when the dance comes into play. And so the dance is very important. So here's how the dance works. You call and schedule a show, and you go to the house, and you run your property repair estimate sheet. You're in and out in 10 minutes like usual. And you call for the agent and for feedback, or you give them feedback via email, like, you really love the house, love the neighborhood, would love to do a rehab here. This house is perfect, but you're trying to crunch the numbers and bring as high of an offer as you can. They're priced close to 400, and you're going to be closer to 3. You just kind of drop some seeds, plant some seeds out there, and that's really it. You can call them on the phone or send them an email via feed, for the showing feedback, and that's just the start of it, right? And then a couple days later, you call and you schedule another showing, but this time, guess what? You don't go. I already know what I could pay for it, right? I already went one time, or my project manager went one time. I know what I could pay for the house. But if they're listed at 400 and I can only pay 273, it takes a little finesse there. So you call and schedule a showing, and then after the showing, you call the agent and say, "Oh," and this is where my wife would say it was my acting debut, because I would call and be like, "Oh, I love this house. I mean, you guys are, Do you think they're open to an offer that's lower than 400? Like, because I'm really going to be closer to 3. I'm going to go back to my office again and run my numbers. I didn't even go to the showing this time. They think I did. So what do? They call their client and say, "Hey, that guy Jim, he went again. He loves this thing. He's going to bring us a cash offer." And then I wait 3 or 4 days and I call and schedule another showing. And I'll call the agent and say, I got to go. My offer's not high enough. I got to see if I can, take some stuff off the repair list. Let me go see it again. I'll call you afterwards. So I call and schedule another showing, but I don't go. And people always ask me, well, don't they have electronic lock boxes? Yes, but they never ever get checked. In fact, one time an agent did call me on it. It's rare, and all I said was, remember this because it's important. Now I had to work this on the fly, so you have a bonus right here. Is I said, the front door is actually unlocked, believe it or not. So I know the house is vacant. I locked it on my way out, but I didn't even need to use the lockbox. So there's your little tip of how to get around that. But you do this 3 or 4 times. And the goal is to get the agent to ask you for your offer. Say, hey, just give me anything, but we'll put this thing together. That is the goal of the dance. So that's what you're trying to do. And every time you schedule a showing, what does that agent get to do? They get to call the seller and say, hey, he's going back again. This guy loves this house. They finally have something good to say after 300 days in the market, So this is very powerful stuff. And that particular deal I'm explaining, literally, usually it takes a couple days. When I submit an offer, it's that much lower than list price. But that one, literally 10 minutes. The agent, I submitted it. She said, "Oh, you said you were going to be close to 300, but in the 300. I never said I was going to be in the 300s. I said I was going to be close to 300, which this is. It's 273. It's closer to 3 than it is 2. You were assuming 4, weren't you?" I didn't say that because that would piss her off. But that is how it happened. And literally, she submitted the offer. 10 minutes later, they accepted it. We closed 2 weeks later. So when fishing for deals in the MLS, there is so much opportunity in any kind of market. You just need to know what to look for. And most importantly, again, start with market time. But houses that are paid off are gold. That is absolute, because those people, depending on how many heirs are in the estate, is absolute gold, because when they have that market time, they were counting this money all the time. But guess what they've been doing now for the last year? Paying taxes, right? And so depending on what your taxes are, in Illinois, ours are outrageous. So taxes on that particular house were like $15,000 a year. That's right, $15,000 a year. So that they were paying that, that year. And so do they want to do that for another year, or do they want to just take this offer and be done with it, right? So I hope you guys found this information useful. For more on me or more about me, you can reach me at www.realestateinvestoracademy.com, and we'll see you in another training. Bye for now.
If you're an active real estate investor already doing deals and looking to double or triple your business, you should consider joining the Investor Fuel Real Estate Investor Mastermind. We're a small group of investors that share our best practices, tips, and tricks with one another in an effort to all win. Real estate investing can be a lonely business for successful real estate investors, but it doesn't have to be. Investor Fuel members meet 4 times a year, but we talk to each other 365 days a year, and we focus on improving the profitability of our businesses, improving the quality of our lives. That's why we do this, right? And making an impact on those around us so we can truly leave a legacy. We limit our membership to only 1 to 2 members per market, so everyone shares their knowledge, tips, and tricks openly and honestly. Our members include some buying 1 to 2 houses a month, up to some of the most respected investors and leaders in the real estate investing industry, some of which have personally done over 1,000 deals. If you'd like to be considered for our invitation-only world-class mastermind, please visit investorfuel.com to request your personal invitation. Our next meeting is coming up quickly. Go to investorfuel.com now to learn more. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky. Are you a member yet of FlipNerd.com, the hottest real estate investing social community online? If not, you can join for free in less than 30 seconds and get access to hundreds of off-market deals, vendors in your market to help you in your business. And you can start networking with thousands of other investors just like you. Get your free account now at FlipNerd.com. Please check out the FlipNerd family of real estate investing shows, where you can access hundreds of expert interviews, quick tips, and lessons from leaders across the real estate investing industry. They're available at FlipNerd.com/shows, or simply search for FlipNerd in the iTunes Store.